It's all you.
Alrighty, guys, what's going on? Welcome to our first Shuriman showdown of the season. This is a week 1 match. Two teams that are going to be playing today are Team Billy and the FIESTA Fathers. So, wanted to do a little bit of a brief rundown here for about 10 or so minutes because it looks like the teams are loading up into the client and getting ready to start right around 9 o'clock Eastern. So, welcome everybody. My name is Foozle Bamboozle. I will be doing the play-by-play casting this evening. Scattercat, who will be joining me in just a minute, will be taking care of the color, and Scrambles will be our stream host for this evening. So, like I said, we're going to be bringing you guys Team Billy versus the FIESTA Fathers this afternoon. I guess it's evening, East Coast. But wanted to run down the Shuriman division since we haven't gotten a chance to check out these guys yet. So you see the top there, Team Billy and the FIESTA Fathers. Roster here, forgot to add the subs here on this graphic, so I'll just go ahead and read them off. So the Team Billy, the Illuminati 17 is their top laner. I am Stro in the jungle. I Glitch E in the mid lane. Joe Killera in the jungle, or at ADC, I'm sorry, and then Death Adder there on support. Their two subs are Aoka and Cyborgan. So neither of them are going to be playing today. It's going to be the full starting 5-man roster for tonight. Their opponent, so Team Billy have selected blue side for this evening. Their opponent on the red side is going to be the FIESTA Fathers. Cheese Blaze is in the top lane. Strom, normally the jungle, is out. ZZ Dog, their substitute player, is going to be taking over in the jungle tonight. Nicky Mite in mid lane. Frostbite is the ADC, and Wee Justin on support. So as we look at those two teams, and we'll see them play 2 games this evening, and we know that both teams are going to be swapping after the first game. So we'll see Team Billy on the blue side for game 1, and then they'll go to the red side for game 2, and vice versa for FIESTA Fathers. You take a look at the other 3 teams here in the Shuriman division. We haven't gotten a chance to see these guys in action. Avatars of Runeterra, Idacles, Pizza Rolls, Vision Lord, Karen Franz, unfortunately for that team. Hopefully he doesn't bring them down and handicap them that much, but need more cowbell on support. The Dandelion Knights, they're a team that has been playing in the CEAL for a while. Cameron Beats is their top laner, Mystic Wave in the jungle, Istariel in mid, Buff Draven at ADC. I think he's gone by a few different names before, and Notagro on support. I think Notagro was formerly their mid laner, maybe Season 0. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but the Dandelion Knights have been around for a little while. Cloud 10 is the last team in the Shuriman division. Dragon SAK47, big name there. The Unforgiven in the jungle. Potato Ari is the mid laner. Savory is ADC, and your friendly neighborhood Spanish teacher there on support. So take another look at the Shuriman division here. We're seeing Team Billy and FIESTA Fathers play against each other tonight, and then those other 3 teams we'll hopefully see later on in action this season. As we are trying to get casts of every single team at least once in all the divisions during the course of this split. So if you want to take a look at some of the champions that we're going to be seeing tonight as we prep for draft, pick and ban phase. So we have a couple of interesting picks here, and I've highlighted some of the main picks that we're going to be looking at for each of these players. Not necessarily their most played champions so far, or the champions they're best at, but I'm thinking more along the lines of champions that really could make an appearance in a league game. And it's kind of interesting when you think about metas, and that there's an overall league meta, the optimal play style in order to win games, and then there's a inner league meta.
I am here.
Oh, Scattercat is going to be joining us. And Scatter, if you're tuning into the stream, I could use your opinion definitely on some of these picks. We're kind of highlighting each team's best champions and whatnot. So the Illuminati, Ornn and Shen are probably the picks we're most likely to see from him based on op.gg picks. And I was telling our viewers, it's kind of interesting that there's like an inner league meta where the CL has their own meta. It's not just like a full-on overhead League of Legends meta that we're following. So that's kind of why I highlighted some of these picks. Like we've seen a lot of Ornn so far. I think almost every series has had an Ornn in the top lane. Sejuani is usually a common appear in the jungle. Yep. Things like that. So talk to me a little bit about what we see here. I've got each player's picks highlighted on the left and the right, a couple of key picks for them, and then some of the contested ones in the jungle. Anything that you see here that could really make an appearance tonight or affect the draft? And are there any other picks that you think are just going to be like pocket picks or personal solo queue things? So what of these picks do you see impacting our draft tonight?
Well, I really like seeing the Senna out of Fiesta Fathers. I personally just think that Senna's a very strong champion right now. Even after she's been hit with a few little nerfs here and there, I still think that come late game, it's really hard to stop a team that has a Senna on it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Senna be picked, but I don't think Senna's going to make it through the draft. I think that Team Billy would know how good Senna is and stop that from happening. Or at the very least, if they allow Senna to go through, then they pick lane bullies like Lucian and Leona that can just go on Senna and kill her during laning phase.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the counterplay for that, I would think, especially if it's a lane like Senna and Ezreal, which Ezreal doesn't have a lot of damage early, so it would be really easy to bully that lane at that point. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah. One thing I do want to highlight is the Mordekaiser top. We've seen Mordekaiser almost as commonly as we've seen Ornn so far in this league, and I think he's actually been being played as one of the soft counters to Ornn. Now, some people argue that the matchup could go either way, but something that both Cheeseblaze and the Illuminati have played and can play. How likely are we to see this Mordekaiser tonight?
I would assume that it's going to be picked or banned both games.
Yeah, given its status in an overall meta, and that it's S plus tier, God tier, as some people would call it.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe this one's going to be getting through pick ban phase unnoticed.
Yeah, pretty much. My whole thing here is that like I don't know what either team would pick into Mordekaiser. I mean, Cheeseblaze could try the Urgot or the Fiora into it, but I think Mordekaiser is still the better pick anyway. And same thing with the Ornn and the Shen on the other side here. Like Mordekaiser just has so much priority right now. Like you almost have to ban it. If you're not blue side, I feel like you should just ban Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common opinion right now with how much of a staple he is in the meta, has been for a while and probably will be for a while, unless we get some upcoming hard nerfs. So jumping now to the jungle, Jarvan seems to be more like a we haven't seen it as much as maybe Sejuani or Olaf so far this season, but Jarvan is one of those picks that both of them play, and maybe not a super important to contested pick to highlight, but ZZ Dog, it's worth noting that he is normally has played support in this league, but can really fill at all roles. And so him stepping in the jungle is nothing new. Do you know anything about his jungle / support history? What picks he's likely to pull out besides these two? Anything about him? Because he's kind of a wild card for this team.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, what I know about ZZ Tog is that he's kind of a meta slave. You know, he'll play whatever's strong. So at the moment right now, what's really strong in the jungle are things like Olaf, things like Pantheon, people that have a lot of damage. Obviously, Jarvan being one of those as well. Things that can really make an impact, want to roam around the map, want to gank lanes. Something like Sejuani, for instance, that Team Billy has there on their side of this list. Um, Sejuani is like I don't like junglers that are too tanky right now. I don't like junglers that rely on Cinder Hulk, and it's mainly because it just takes them longer to get going right now. And right now, the game is heavily favored towards early and mid game.
Yeah. One thing to note is my team actually in the Ionian division did scrim Team Billy. So even though I know more of the Fiesta Fathers players and they've been around for a little bit longer here in this league, my team was able to get a look at Team Billy. And on paper, when it comes to ranks, Stro is probably the most threatening out of all of them. I think he made Diamond last season, and he is an aggressive jungler, and he likes to step up and take a carry role early. So the point you bring up about scaling junglers, I do think really stands this game, because I think he's going to want to be the aggressor and the playmaker for his team. So don't know if we'll see him on something more tanky. I expect a Lee Sin to be pretty high priority. He does play other things like the Rek'Sai and the Lease. So as far as carry junglers go, if we're going to see somebody step up, it's going to be Stro there on Team Billy's side.
Yeah, and Lee Sin's a really good pick. that you brought up, because he has a very flexible build path. You can use different runes with him. You can build different items on him to fit whatever needs the team has. So if they want to blind pick the Lee Sin early, they can still be flexible with what they do with him and what the game plan can be with him.
Yeah. So moving on down to the mid lane, didn't notice any contested picks between these two guys. I think Nikki may play a little bit of Cho'Gath, but he's so far this season he's really been grinding with the Zillion. And iGlitch, he can play the stuff like Yasuo and Irelia in addition to these three. But I noticed we have seen Cho'Gath and Veigar so far this league. Veigar and Cho'Gath are really good because both of them can use Glacial Augment really well. Both of them can scale really hard. And Galio just has a lot of utility. I do remember when scrimming against these guys, Glitch's Galio was actually really hard to deal with. He was always quick on the roams, following up on the plays that I Am Stro or Illuminati would make really efficiently. So he's more of a global and utility player for this team. So that's why I think he could step into one of these three picks. Any comments from you on ADC? Because I know you did used to play ADC.
Yeah.
Is it a big win if one of these teams gets Jhin or Jinx, or how do you expect this whole thing to go down? Because both Frostbite and Joe Killera do play a lot of Jhin and Jinx.
Yeah. I always like to save Jhin for later on in the draft if that's part of the game plan, because if a team picks tanks, Jin's not good into that. So you kind of need to wait and see if they're going to pick tanky champs or not for Jhin. You just keep him in your pocket until you know that you can use him. As far as Jinx is concerned, I love Jinx. She's one of my favorite champions in the entire game. I love whenever we see her. It's just that right now she's not the best pick in the meta because, again, she has a kind of a weak laning phase. It takes her quite a few levels and at least 1.5, maybe 2 items before she's actually going to be a threat in the game. Whereas a champion like Tristana or Lucian, like, they're going to be viable from laning phase all the way through the game. So to me, Jinx is not normally a high priority champ at the moment, but since both teams AD carries play her, maybe today she will be a higher priority pick because both teams really like her. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see on that one.
Yeah. One thing I do notice is, and if you've watched any of the LPL to kick off the season, there's been kind of a triad or a triumvirate of ADCs that have really stepped head and shoulders above the rest. We've seen Varus, Xayah, I believe Xayah is one of them, and then Misfortune. Those three are probably the strongest AD carries in the meta right now. So not seeing them as priority picks for either of these two AD carries is really interesting because we might get something that is unusual or not according to maybe an overhead meta. So as we drop right down to support, we see that Alistar is probably the pick most commonly shared by both these players. You talked about Senna a little bit. Do you think Braum or Leona, are either of them a good answer into Senna if we Justin decides to take that for Fiesta Fathers?
I'm actually not quite sure on that because I know that Senna's auto attacks and her Q both go through Yasuo's wind wall, so I don't know if they work the same way with Braum's shield or not. I'm
Gotcha.
not entirely positive on how that interaction actually plays out. If it turns out that her auto attacks and her Q does go through Braum's shield, then I would not want to pick Braum at all into her if she happens to be put on the board. And on the opposite way, on the flip side of the coin, if Team Billy picks Braum early and Fiesta Fathers know that happens with Senna, that the interaction works just like it does with Yasuo's wind wall, I would pick her right away then, because Braum's not going to be that useful during laning phase or later on if Senna can affect him like that.
Yeah. So covered the roles pretty well. Covered some of those contested picks and some champions that we think each of these guys could pull out in this series. Worth noting also again that Syndra, Lux, and Set, all three of them are disabled. Set because he was very recently released, and we want to give the community a while to be able to pick up on him, learn him a little bit, and have him not be the excuse of some player picks him up and catches everybody by surprise. So we want to give people a little bit of time to learn Set. And then, of course, Syndra and Lux are disabled in the LEC due to potentially game-breaking bugs. So we will have them be banned for the Casual Esports Amateur League. But none of these players really play either Syndra or Lux, so I don't see it being too big of a detriment to either player. So we're about to get into the pick ban phase here for game one.
going. We got the timer going down for the first ban of the game, and Pike is the band that we see coming through. Oh wow, the bans are just flying real fast here. Fiesta Fathers banned Shen, Diana gets banned in response, and now it looks like, oh yep, Lee Sin getting banned as well. Man, they know what they want to do. The game plan is set.
Yeah, so we did see Fiesta Fathers mid Nikki Might running a little bit of Diana when she first came out, so definitely trying to deny a really strong pick away. Jin is banned and Jinx is taken, so we see those contested 2 ADCs coming up big, as in the ADC position alone, it seems that Team Billy has gotten the lead with that Jinx. But quick lock-in on Ergen and Zillion. Comfort picks there for the Fiesta Fathers.
Yeah, this is crazy how quickly they're locking things in. I don't think even LCS teams pick their champions this fast. They usually give it some discussion,
Yeah.
It just seems like both Fiesta Fathers and Team Billy are just so confident in their team comps for this first game. Got Zillion locked in right away. Zillion likely being a support pick. Yep, and they lock in Tristana to go with him. I like that. That's a lot of poke from the bot lane combo here on Fiesta Fathers.
Yeah, I do think that the Zillion is going to Nikki Might in the mid lane. That was basically his main champion there. Not sure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I misspoke on that. You're right.
What I am curious about is where this Yasuo Gragas is going, because we've seen it in pro play be used either as a mid jungle or an ADC bot lane or an ADC support combo, because the pair really do work very well together, and to the point where you can put them literally in any place where they have potential synergy during the game. So I'm curious to see if this is a mid jungle, which I think it's more likely to be a mid jungle, because I know Glitch does play Yasuo in the mid lane and Iamstro does play the Gragas. I'd be very surprised if it went bot. Well, the Jinx is already locked in, so I guess if I had paid attention to that, we wouldn't be having this debate. Horn and Malphite, the two bans knocked right off the board.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Both of them have major knockups that would really help enable Yasuo, so I like both of those bans coming out of the Fiesta Fathers here.
So I'm curious what the Illuminati goes to, because we saw his Shen and his Horn both taken away. I know he has played a couple of carries. We've seen, or I saw when our team scrimmed them, he played Vladimir. So I'm curious to see how deep he can reach into his champion pool and come up with something. Leona locked in for the Fiesta Fathers. Yeah. We just had taken that with the Tristana. That's a kill lane.
Mordekaiser is still on the board too.
Yeah.
So Billy could lock that in, and they will. It looks like they're hovering him. Yep, locked in Mordekaiser. Here we go.
So yeah, the Illuminati talked about that Mordekaiser's that last champion that he played, and so Cheeseblade is probably planned for the Mordekaiser and is able to take the Urgot into anything, as he did early pick that. The last pick, looking to be a jungle. We highlighted ZZ Dog's Pantheon before the draft, and we'll see if he locks it in here. I think it could be to round out his composition. No, he's going to switch over to the Echo, and he will drop that in last second.
Surprise Echo pick. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought the Pantheon was a surefire lock in there.
Yeah, from him especially. I know Echo is actually really strong in solo queue right now. It is one of the top junglers. Very consistent damage output. Ganks are pretty easy to get off. He's got CC, and he's always got a get out of jail free card. We've actually seen more Echo jungle recently than we have mid. So as long as ZZ Dog can play it pretty well, that's a very strong pick for jungle.
Yeah, and I think ZZ Dog is a pretty mechanically more than competent mechanically player. So I think the Echo's going to make some flashy plays this game, as long as he's not being too aggressive where he gets caught out. You have to play Echo with a little bit of restraint, even with that get out of jail free card, because if you make the wrong aggressive call, you're going to just be wasting your ultimate on getting out of there. So
so as we highlight, and the players will lock their champions in the client draft here soon enough, but we've got Mordekaiser versus Urgot in the top lane. We did talk about that matchup a little bit. Not sure if I can call that any particular way. I know Cheeseblaze did play a whole ton of Urgot in Season 9, so he's very experienced on that champion. So I think the only thing that gets in the way of Illuminati is maybe his experience on Mordekaiser. Do you know anything more about this matchup than I do? Because I'm not too sure really who takes the lead here in top lane.
My bet is Mordekaiser, and it's only because as strong as Urgot used to be in the top lane, where we saw him picked or banned, 5 months ago, like
Yeah,
every single game, he's not that strong anymore. Like he's still a good champion. He's still a champion that can be played. I'm not trying to say that he's useless or anything like that, but
sure.
he's just not up to his old strength. And so I feel like Mordekaiser would still have the edge. Um,
Both of these
but
champions are running Conqueror, right? I'm thinking.
Mordekaiser is definitely running Conqueror, yeah, but I don't know what Urgot. I don't know what the meta is for Urgot's runes at all.
Gotcha. Okay, so one thing that we really didn't point out is the synergy with Echo and Zillion and Tristana too. Now that I think about it, they have a lot of dive on that team, and Zillion mid is always he has a quite a bit of damage that tends to get overlooked. But one of his main utility tools is to be able to save somebody who is diving with an well-placed ultimate. Zillion's often paired with good junglers like Kindred or Nocturne, so having a dive buddy with Echo there is actually something. ZZ Dog's pretty happy about that, knowing he has a Zillion to back him up. So that's kind of a cool combo there. I know when I play Zillion mid, I like to get an aggressive jungler or an aggressive ADC because pairs really well with that Zillion Chrono Break. Chrono Shift, something.
Yeah,
Chrono
Chrono,
something.
whatever, whatever it is. Yeah, no, I really like what I'm seeing out of both teams here. We just in the team comps alone, we know what both of these teams are about. Billy wants to go for the Wombo combo. They got knockups on the team between Mordekaiser, Gragas, and Alistar, knockups and displacements to enable Yasuo for a really solid play if it hits two or three people on the other team. Meanwhile, they have a late game insurance policy with Jinx, where as long as the game gets to the 30-minute mark and Jinx has 3 items, she's a problem.
Yeah, yeah,
So
very
you
much.
so you have that late game insurance policy just in case things don't go your way in the early and mid game. But then you look at Fiesta Fathers, and they also have champions that want to be aggressive. Leona is a great engage tool, and Echo and Urgot can follow that up pretty easily. They have ways of getting in to help out as well. And then you have Zillion and Tristana on the back line just dealing a lot of poke damage and Zillion stunning people, and also that late game insurance policy with Tristana as well. Both of these AD carries are a late game insurance policy.
Yeah,
Sure, Tristana is stronger early than Jinx, but late game, I think Jinx has a slight edge on her damage over Tristana. So, we could see this game swing wildly from one side to the other depending on what time we are in the match.
yeah. Question for you: who do you think Mordekaiser ults? If let's say both teams are even going into a mid-game fight and they're playing around Dragon or a Herald, and we get a 5v5. Who do you
Mhm.
think Mordekaiser most wants to keep out of the fight?
Zillion, because then everybody on Fiesta Fathers has to worry about actually dying.
Yeah, that's a good call. I actually like that a lot. Urgot, it's just going to end up being the same kind of 1v1 that it was all lane, which we don't know that that's going to go super well for Mordekaiser. Echo has a lot of opportunities to stall in the Mordekaiser ulti with his stun. He's got a jump. He's got a slow with his passive and his ultimate. Tristana can jump away or can rocket jump around as well as use that buster shot. So
Mhm.
I tend to definitely agree with you. I think the other players that he would potentially ultimate have a lot of ways to deal with that Mordekaiser Death Realm. So I think Zillion is a good call on that one.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like Mordekaiser would still I think he would still win against an Echo or a Tristana. Or, I think he still has the damage to beat them. It's just that if you take out Zillion in the ultimate, that's such a good utility tool for your team. Where hey, don't worry about going in, don't worry about fighting because I'll save you if you're gonna die. That's gone. That safety net underneath everybody is gone, and they all have to be worried about that if you take him out of the fight. And then he has to use his ultimate on himself while he's in Mordekaiser's ultimate, and it kind of gets wasted at that point.
Yeah. Last question for you as our spectator delay closes out and we hop into game. We're both mid laners here. What do you think of this Yasuo Zillion matchup?
Well, Yasuo, I feel like is going to do fine. His wind can block those bombs, I believe, as Zillion tosses them. Um, so I think he's going to be okay. And even if the wind wall doesn't block them, he can dash through minions and get away from where those bombs are going to land anyway.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think Yasuo is going to get a kill in lane,
Sure.
But I think he's going to be okay. And if laning phase goes poorly where he's not getting CS, Yasuo's way better at roaming than Zillion is, so he can
Yeah,
always make an impact in a side lane.
that's for sure. All right. Well, we're loading onto the Rift here. We'll get our time synced up so we're not casting out of turn here. But in the loading screen, do you see any runes that kind of are a surprise? We see the Predator on Gragas, both top laners with Conqueror, Dark Harvest on the Zillion. That don't know if I've taken that on Zillion before.
Ooh, yeah, I've never seen that on Zillion in a match I've played. That's interesting.
Yeah, both supports rocking that aftershock, and both ADCs with the lethal tempo, I believe that is.
Yes.
So pretty standard stuff across the board. Zillion wanting to get some extra damage on those bombs as he throws them out. So
Yeah, I get the Dark Harvest. I get the theory behind it on him because if you stun somebody with two bombs, and it gets them down to the health point where Dark Harvest can happen. Once that second bomb explodes, it triggers it automatically, so you don't even need to be there to get that.
yeah.
So the theory is sound. I just don't know how practical it actually is. All right, getting into the game. Here we go. So who would you say is the stronger level one if either of these teams decided to go for a jungle invade right away?
Um, I mm, outside of the support, not a lot of CC. I think Gragas is AoE. Echo has a slow. Zillion can bomb. I'd say it'd be pretty even. Um, but I think I would probably give it to the Fiesta Fathers, just because multiple people can proc the Leona passive, and if you get an Echo Q in there to slow people up, as well as if Tristana scales that rocket jump. But looks like both teams are fanning, so I don't know if we're going to get any action level 1.
That's fair enough. You know, early on in the season, you're just testing the waters right now. You don't want to take a huge risk and pay for it right away in your first game. I understand.
Illuminati getting a little bit of a trade in there onto Nikki Mind, who's probably just going to recall and grab that health for minion spawn. Why don't we sync up our time here? So I'm at, let's see, we're at 50, 51,
Yep, I'm right
52.
there with you.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Same.
So let me get my scoreboard pulled up, and we'll get ready to start here. So standard fans here for both sides. There was one ward that was placed bottom side of mid. That
Mhm.
was I am Stroh's ward. Did throw that one in there. So I didn't see when he did it. If he was trying to watch for maybe an enemy pathing in there, or if it was something to try and set up for a river play level 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the ward being placed there, it's not going to catch any jungle movement in river heading, upriver into that other lane. It's just too far away from it to actually get any good vision on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's purely just to make sure that they're not taking, if they're not going around Dragon Wall to enter your own jungle. That's all that's actually going to catch if it
Yeah.
happens.
And even if Echo were to come mid right after his first camp or first or second buffs to get spotted by that word, Echo is a level 3 ganker. Doesn't really do much there at level 2. Wants access to all 3 of his abilities before he's able to pull off a successful gank. So don't think that word's going to amount to much here as we see the lane settling in.
Yeah, I don't like seeing wards come out that early unless you're invading the other person's jungle and you're setting a ward down to try to spot where their jungler's starting. That makes perfect sense to ward then. I just never like seeing a ward come out for any other reason this early in the game.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be helpful to spot pathing, jungle early pathing, if you drop it deep enough to see. Because now that blue side jungling is really good, you don't see every jungle going from like blue to red, and you can kind of predict what side they're going to be on. Some junglers will go clear their entire blue side and then look for a gank, or they'll go blue to their red side. So jungle pathing can be a lot more creative now, and there's a lot more decisions there. So placing a deep ward can really help to see where the jungler is going. But
Yep. So yeah, just a lot of trading, a lot of poking, a lot of CS going on. Nobody. Oh,
yeah, so that's the Conqueror proc by the Urgot as he's looking in there. Does get a lot of damage onto the Mordekaiser. But with that Dorn shield, he'll likely be
Grog is coming in.
Yeah, it does get that body slam. The TP has dropped. That might be Nikki might coming in from the side. We might have a 3v2 here. Stroh's going to want to back out, and the Illuminati might be in trouble. The double bomb does miss, as he's not stunned by that. But here comes ZZ Dog in for the flashes. There's battles going on both sides. Looks like the Mordekaiser will escape, but Cheese Blaze running down the Gragas picks off the kill in the end. And in a 3v2, first blood for the Fiesta Fathers.
And then down here in bot lane, just a little bit of skirmishing going on as well. But wow, that was an explosive start to the match right there. TP already being used in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, here in bot lane, we see Frostbite jumping onto Joe Killera. He might be in trouble. The Ignite drops onto him. Has burned both the heal and the flash. As Death Adder tries to turn on a Frostbite, flashes for one more auto, does not get it, but in the end does pick up the kill. And Death Adder, unfortunately, not quite able to get in range to stun up Frostbite. Now he may be in trouble as the Alcove play comes into a factor, but top lane, we're going really down to the wire. Cheese Blaze, one more auto might do it, and that Mordekaiser picks up the kill in the double buffs as we see the remnants of bot lane. I'm Stroh coming, but is he too late here? Looks like he's going to get there on time, and Frostbite is now on the wrong side of his base. We Jesting going to get out, but we'll see if this Tristana is able to head for hill or high water, and it looks like it's going to be the barrel in his face as he dies a painful death. So,
so bloodthirsty these teams are at the beginning of this game.
You know, we were told earlier on, and ZZ Dog has reminded us countless times in chat, that if you're going to watch a Fiesta Fathers game, you should prepare for no end to the carnage. So, like
it really will be a fiesta. They will live up to the team name.
Yes, looks like he's making good on his word there. So, as far as bot lane goes, and we don't have much time for pauses. I am Stroh with a nice wraparound gank into the mid lane. Nikki might lands the double bomb, but the damage has already been done. ZZ Dog here for the counter is able to grab a kill on the other end, and it looks like both parties will disengage. There is the top lane. We're getting to it one more time. Illuminati not afraid of this Urgot as he steps forward with the double buffs, and puts the Urgot in a world of pain. So Mordekaiser looks to be starting to get in control of this lane now.
Yeah, that extra burn from the red buff on Mordekaiser helping in these trades.
Yeah, he's getting himself a health advantage. We'll likely see the Mordekaiser start with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter there as he's opened up with the Blasting Wand, and Urgot with the Coal. Not sure if that's a normal thing or he just felt a little greedy after picking up the first kill there.
Might have,
in
yeah.
the 3v2 early. But got a little bit of a CS lead, but I imagine the Mordekaiser's not done threatening him in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, for all the action that we had there in the first 5 minutes of the game, things have now mellowed out again. And I'm just wondering if this is a small pause in the action before it picks up again, if it's a little like the eye of the storm, so to speak.
Yeah. Realistically, yes, I think that is going to be a small break here. So let's cover while we can. The Yasuo, so Glitch is able to establish a pretty early lead. Nikki might, who will usually want to go the Rod of Ages, and might not be able to pause here as the Illuminati puts Cheese Blaze in the Death Realm. Don't know if he's going to be able to tower dive him here as Cheese Blaze hugs his turret so fervently, praying for escape, and he does get respite. Nikki might in trouble here. Glitch is going to land the final breath. The ult comes down from Nikki Might, but is this going to be just a pause in the action before he does go down? ZZ Dog again here, faithful with those counter ganks. He's done a good job there. Nikki Might probably going to fall as he's positioned himself pretty poorly to get back to his turret. Now ZZ Dog's in trouble. Is going to be able to land the stun as in top lane, and Illuminati picks up a quick kill. ZZ Dog escapes there in the mid lane, but like we said, the Mordekaiser starting to get big here in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely. And I do love ZZ Dog coming in for the gank there mid lane, but and as I'm talking, we get another fight bot lane.
Ooh, the headbutt knocks the Leona right into the Jinx. Ignite dropped onto Joe Killera, but we Justin taking a lot of damage there on the back end, but unfortunately Joe Killera cannot step back up and deal more damage because he is low himself. So trade overall goes to the Fiesta Fathers there. Frostbite is healthy, and neither of the members of Team Billy are.
Yeah, I mean, they focused all their damage on the Leona rather than the Tristana. So, yeah, that's what lets Fiesta Fathers come out ahead there in that fight.
Yeah, we'll
almost killed the Leona. Like, they could have gotten a kill there. It just didn't quite pan out.
Yeah. It was hard for Joe Killera to step up and put in some more autos just because of how low he was from the previous trade.
Yep, better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Glitch using that lane priority to roam over and grab a ward.
Like that. I like that. I want to see Yasuo make some more roams. I want to see him affect the side lanes, especially bot lane, because Jinx kind of needs the help right now.
Oh, as Frostbite jumps in onto Joe Killera. Nice headbutt from Death Adder, going to disengage that swiftly. And no harm, no foul there. Like you were saying, I think this Yasuo is actually going to be able to roam with the Zillion. Ooh, and probably shouldn't analyze too quickly as Death Adder going in. Does knock We Justin back, and that might be the Leona dead.
Oh, that's a
but
dead
no,
Jinx.
Tristana turns onto the Jinx, and yeah, that's going to be 1-2
Ooh.
double kill there for Tristana. So I really like the attempt from Death Adder to go in there. It really looked like they had secured the kill onto the Leona, but just she was a little bit too tanky, and that's likely going to be the dragon here for Fiesta Fathers as Zillion has moved down to join the Echo.
Yeah, Jinx just didn't have the damage fast enough. I mean, she tried. She was focusing that Leona, but just too early in the game for Jinx to be able to do that. Get a few damage items on you, Jinx, then you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm Stro fiddling around here looking for a potential steal. We'll see if oh, he's in the pit. They might try and look for a fight here. The Dragons reset a little bit. Glitch now in trouble. Goes with the last breath, lands it onto 2 people. The ult goes down onto Frostbite. That's going to be the Yasuo. He's still alive. They do get the kill into the Leona. This fight is so close. Double knockup. There's the Gragas Yasuo. Glitch picks up 2 kills in that thing, and now Frostbite's in a world of hurt as they corner him on the blast cone and pummel him to death.
Well,
I did not
done.
think Team Billy had a chance there, but they walked in with the Yasuo Gragas and did him dirty.
Yeah, this game is starting to swing in their favor. I mean, we saw Fiesta Fathers make a lot of really good plays in a row. Tristana getting a double kill in lane there. And now it looks like it's going all the way for Team Billy at the moment.
Yeah, speaking of that, Illuminati putting Cheese Blaze into the Death Realm and smashing his face with that Mordekaiser club, and 3-0 for the Illuminati here on that Mordekaiser.
Man, takes tower shots, doesn't care. That's Mordekaiser.
Yeah, got those parts to the Rylai. Is going to be completing that definitely after this back. So yeah, look at your Fed members there on Team Billy. Yasuo has opened up a 4-0-2 lead. Already completed the static shiv. Nikki might trying to piece together that Zanya's Hourglass. It's really hard for Zillion when he can't go the normal item like Rod of Ages. Such a good, efficient item for Zillion. Very easy for him to be able to spam those bombs and stay healthy. When he has to go something like the Zanya's Hourglass to ward off of Fed Yasuo, he's not going to be enjoying his life too much.
That's a rough life for Zillion. I also like the Luden's Echo start on Zillion as well, but
Glitch finding his way into Nikki might here, and this just might be a dead Zillion. Yeah.
And right before his ultimate would have been back too. Like he had literally just came back 2 seconds after he died. So close.
That feels bad. Oh, nice little headbutt there by Darth Adder to actually cancel Justin's Zenith Blade. Cute little interaction there. But man, we see the damage that this Yasuo is doing, and it's only going to get worse as he starts to piece together his Infinity Edge. So,
yeah, there's nothing more difficult to deal with than a Yasuo or a Jinx that get a lot of early kills so that they get their power spikes early. There's nothing worse.
Yeah. Especially when they're supposed to be the champions that are the late game insurance, and they get ahead. It's not what you planned for.
Nope.
Zenith Blades land onto Joe Killera. Here comes a Frostbite in, but the counter gank was ready. I am Strode there, predicting the plan ahead of time. Now Justin's going to be all but eliminated here as the Super Mega Death Rocket picks him up in the end, and that's another kill over to Joe Killera on 2 for the side of Team Billy.
Yeah, Jinx turns around. Tristana can get a double kill. She goes, hey, I can do that too. Got another fight brewing up here in top lane. We see Mordekaiser, satisfied to just get the CS and let the lane push in.
Yeah.
They're going to get some tower plates down here in bot lane, though, get some extra gold income on their side. Fiesta Fathers kind of starting to struggle a little bit. They got baited a few times into some deaths here. They just gotta just take a breath and just gotta reset themselves mentally at this point.
Mm-hmm. Cheeseplay's doing
all isn't lost.
Cheeseplay's doing a decent job of handling the Mordekaiser trades as of now. Was able to piece together that Jarom's Fist, and then is looking like maybe a Hex Drinker coming in there on the right side of his inventory. But I'm a little bit worried about that as he's not going to have some full items. So Glitch flashes over the wall into Nikki Might. Been ambitious there. Does windwall the bomb, but
he was very confident in that flash.
Yeah. You normally would advise against flashing in for a 1-4 zillion. He'll probably want to save that for something defensive later so he doesn't give up shutdown gold. But he had his plans here, and we see Mordekaiser engaging onto the Urgot. That's the Death Realm being put down. Cheeseblaze, only a couple more autos. Procs the Conquer, but it is all in vain as the Illuminati picks up his 4th kill of the game.
Yep, didn't have tower to help Urgot out that time. He activated the ult out of range, so very smart ultimate by Mordekaiser. He knew he had that kill as soon as he hit that.
Fiesta Fathers looking to maybe set up a trap here. Don't know if they've seen the Echo. Joe Killer playing very cautious. Here comes the parallel convergence. Is going to land it, but it's only the stun onto the Alistar, but gets bopped back in, and Chrono shifts right back out.
That was
Chrono,
good timing.
Something like that. I need to look up what Echo and Zillion's ultimates are because I know they both start with Chrono, but anyways, very nice kill from them and a good gank from ZZ Dog, able to get this lane ahead. And Death Adder actually in trouble here. That's going to be the jump forward from Frostbite is maybe one more auto with that Alistar ultimate. He's so tanky, but gets dropped in the end. But here is Illuminati. He'll get 1 kill surely as Justin does flash. Frostbite does jump and flash and almost perfectly kited. But here comes the raid boss. Final boss music as the Yasuo comes in with the sweeping blade and the Steel Tempest to pick up another 2 kills. And just when you thought they had made the perfect escape, down come the Fed members of the Team Billy.
Man.
Bye-bye. Go the Fiesta Fathers.
Man, it just feels like every single time that Fiesta Fathers makes a good play or makes a good map rotation or has good communication, Team Billy just is able to come back right away from their last death or their last mistake and make up for it. I just don't know how they're pulling this off here where no matter what Fiesta Fathers does, Team Billy's like, no, we got a plan for that. We're going to handle this.
Ooh. Nicky might having to drop the ultimate on himself there as Glitch looking for that kill. Does not have access to the ultimate and might be running into a little bit more than he can chew. Xenoblade does miss from Justin. Does dodge the Leona ultimate there. Is trying to finish off Nicky Might in the end, but looks like 3 members are too many for him, and ZZ Dog is going to collect the kill and a pretty big shutdown bounty at that. I think it was 700.
Leona was still in the wind wall when she tried to activate her Zenith Blade, so it didn't actually come out. That's such... Oh, man, so close.
Yeah. Speaking of close, Nicky Might just barely dodges the barrel there from I Am Stro. ZZ Dog having to run with Ignite on him. Does have access to that ultimate if he feels like he's gone too low. Here comes the Super Mega Death Rocket just below the Echo, as you saw that fly by on the mini-map. But yeah. Grabbing the blue buff. Probably going to go to the Gragas. Team Billy ahead in almost every way.
I know. It's actually crazy. I thought this match would be even all the whole way through.
But
Urgot gets a one-on-one kill in mid lane against Jinx. He's just having a snack.
Yeah. Yeah, not doing so hot in his lane, so he thought he'd step down and try and pick on some of the weaker prey. Mordekaiser's pretty tough up there.
I mean, hey, that gold income's going to help. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Dropping Shelly, this mid lane tower is going to go down. It's got to go down here. Oh, definitely. One charge, it's out.
Team Billy have got their side lanes working, though, so we'll see if they need to step back and group because Fiesta Father's making their big mid-game play here. Taking down 2 turrets here. Looks like both side lanes have backed. We'll see if Team Billy wants to go in and fight here. You see the Mordekaiser coming down from the top, the Yasuo from the bottom. See if they can find an engage. Imstro has access to everything but his ultimate. That's going to be Nicky Might down, have to pop the Chrono Shift on himself. Going to get taken down in the end. That should be a quick pickup for Imstro. Here comes the Mordekaiser in the back line. He's got the Frostbite locked up in the ultimate. Death Adder in with the pulverized headbutt combo. And this looks like it's going to be all Team Billy as they wipe out the second kill. Mid laner support down for Fiesta Fathers.
Yeah, Fiesta Fathers just stayed a little too long after they got that second tower. They should have just left as soon as it fell. Just, play it safe, go back. You just made a big play that helped catch you up in gold a little bit, and they just gave that lead up all over again after they died afterwards.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Frostbite does drop. Imstro, pretty chunky on the Scragus, has his Rune Gave completed as well as nearly the Zanya's Hourglass. Still with the stopwatch left to be procced, so...
Yeah, this is
pretty big.
They have a 7,000 gold lead almost right now. They have a pretty strong lead. And Jinx and Yasuo, these late game insurance policies are already online in the mid game, and they're already doing work.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough for Fiesta Fathers to make a comeback at this point.
Looks like there's a play being made. ZZ Dog does get the ultimate back in. The ult is only going to land onto Leona, so not the ultimate the Yasuo wanted, but they are able to pick up 2 kills. Cheeseplay's coming on the back line, is going to try to take down this Yasuo, but no, the heals come through, and that's a 3-for-0 for Team Billy as they escape with barely any health. Gotta watch out for that bomb there.
Yeah.
Joe Killer almost delivered that onto his support. That would have been unfortunate.
Man, this 8,000 gold lead now is it's getting out of hand. It's getting really out of hand. Every single player on Team Billy has a lead.
Oop, wind wall dropped as Frostbite's trying to make this play into Glitch, but I don't know if he wants this at all. The ultimate does go down, but Glitch turns right onto the Zillion and kills him instead. Now the ultimate procs, and that was really unfortunate timing. Here comes Leona. Let's see if she can get involved. Zoning Solar Flare perfectly disengages Frostbite, and he's able to escape. But Yasuo does pick up the 1 kill, and with Zillion down, and the rest of the members having reset on Team Billy, looks like they're going to move in towards the Dragon and secure their 3rd of this game.
Yeah, this is just I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a lot of fun, but you know, if I was Fiesta Fathers at this point of the game, I'm already half preparing for the next game at this point. You know, like you know what you have to do to survive this game already, and it's going to be just drag it out, stall as long as possible. If we can keep them out of our base until the 40-minute mark, it's an even fight. Yeah. But we have to make it that far. That's the game plan. So you play for that game plan right now, and you just worry about getting in the right mindset where you're not getting tilted, where you're still in control of your emotions and still communicating as a team and not shutting down.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it's really tough when, as we talked about, Fiesta Fathers made a lot of really good moves that just didn't work out for them. I'm Stro usually there for some very timely counter ganks. It seemed to be pretty frustrating. So it's extra hard when you're making good plays but not seeing them work. So the mental aspect of it really does come into play. So hopefully they can reset and look for a comeback in this game. And if not, then clean heads for next game. So we did see, while we were talking about that Team Billy picking up 2 more kills, the Mordekaiser and the Jinx having collected a couple. So they're moving for this Baron, but not going to start it up yet, as they may be looking for a surprise kill.
Ooh. I always like a good bait, so.
Yeah, Nikki might stand on an award. He didn't know it, and he's going to get dropped here. Death Adder picks up that one to add to his support resume there. ZZ Dog ults, but it's to no avail as Glitch catches him in the Steel Tempest. And the last breath, Leona falls as well. That's 3 down. We'll see if they turn to the Baron or push in for the win. I do believe it is going to be the Baron, and they're looks like the pings are going down there. They're going to head for that.
Yeah, death timers are too low to get the win, but you got Mordekaiser down there getting another tower, more global gold for the whole team, and then Baron's just going to help on top of that. It's a conservative play, but I think it's the right play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to contest this at all. Fiesta Fathers might be looking to make a play on this Mordekaiser here. In fact, I think they are. That's a TP from Nicky Might as he speeds himself up. Mordekaiser does not have access to the Death Realm yet. It's almost about to come up. So if he wants to engage in a 1v1, he just has to survive for a couple more seconds before he has access to that. I think they're going to kill him, though. It is the Urgot ultimate that is going to be able to tear him down. So good counter kill onto the Mordekaiser. But Team Billy looking to answer here in top lane.
Yeah, I like obviously going after the Mordekaiser, getting that kill, making him pay for being down there in lane. But they just gave up a lot of resources for it, and they were down there for so long that they let Team Billy take an objective top lane. And now they do get a little bit back in return because they were able to take a bot lane tower in response. But you know, Urgot can't stay here very long. He's not going to be able to keep pushing. He's not going to be able to keep the pressure up. He has to leave.
Yeah, those minions getting baroned up signals the retreat for him. As Yasuo might want to run this down all the way. He's got a wave of minions approaching, so he may be able to just dash through them all, and I think he's going to get away here. Is probably not going to be interrupted. He was almost killed in the process. That would have been really awkward, but Cheeseblaze does
so
just
close.
Yeah, that's sub 50 HP, so see just how fed this Yasuo is. Even has the Sterix gauge to bail him out of any harm that should befell him later on.
Yeah. I mean, Yasuo was going for the tornado. If he had gotten that tornado off, it would have interrupted the teleport. So the fact that he almost killed him though instead of the tornado is I'd be very surprised by that if I
Yes.
was Yasuo.
Yeah. I am Stroll lands the casket onto the back line, but he is not needed as Yasuo deletes the Zillion. No time for the Zillion ultimate as he goes down before it can cast that button. And with Echo back in the fountain, sprinting up, I wonder how much damage they're going to get on this turret here.
Yeah, with how much damage they're doing to Zillion, Zillion's got to almost put the ultimate down on himself before anybody engages in the first place to start a fight.
Yeah, not a fun spot to be in as a Zillion, piecing together, trying to look for that first item. But yeah, hoping to be a utility guy here at the end of this game for his team, but not quite working out right now as 2 inhibs are done, and we'll see if Team Billy wants more.
I mean, if I were in their shoes right now, you know you have a big gold lead, and I just wouldn't be afraid of pushing in for this. And even if you all die here, you still have a huge lead over Fiesta Fathers, so why not risk it and see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Looks like they're getting together those creep waves to try and make one last push at the final Nexus turret. That's a 3-man ultimate, lands the Steel Tempest. Final breath, snuffs the lives out of 3 members. That'll be the double kill for the Yasuo. Joe Killera picks up 1 as well. The final turret is down. Mordekaiser puts the Zillion into the Death Realm, but that'll be all she wrote. Game 1, in epic fashion, goes to Team Billy as they'll close this one out and move on into Game 2 with their heads held high. Strong performance for the opening game for them.
Very strong performance and really flashy finish that's going on the highlight reel for that Yasuo for sure.
Yeah. I imagine we'll see that pick possibly banned, but just possibly banned
Uh,
for Game 2.
Yeah, or you just ban some of the champs that help enable Yasuo so that he has to rely more on himself to get going instead. Either way is fine as long
Yeah.
as you're confident in that strategy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and looking at the damage graphs here, Yasuo is so far ahead of the rest of his team. Even Jinx and Mordekaiser, who were both putting down so much hurt and getting so many kills and assists in this game, Yasuo still just completely outdoes them all, almost double the amount of damage that Jinx had in that game.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff out of that Yasuo.
So let's kind of start at the beginning and break this one down as we're hopping into the next game to get ready for the pick ban. Where really did that all go wrong? Because it seemed like the bot lane from Fiesta Fathers had a big advantage. Tristana and
Yeah.
Leona were picking up kills early. How did that kind of fall apart?
I think it fell apart at the first dragon fight.
Yeah.
That was really when we saw Team Billy turn things around. And I don't know if it was their communication. I don't know. They were just not afraid of pulling a trigger, and it just happened to work out for them. Whatever it was, you know, they really turned that game around at that dragon fight, and they were just in complete control of that game from that point forward.
Hmm. So early on, at the very beginning of the game, we saw Nicky Might burning his TP early top, which is something that's it's a very unselfish play to try and they were able to pick up a kill in that 3v2, but in doing so did give up a decent amount of lane pressure to the Yasuo. We saw him up, I think, like 45 to 25 in CS. Just started accelerating that lead, getting those attack speed boots. And then, like you said, that big dragon fight is when it really exploded for them. I think it was just the Gragas and the Yasuo, but he was able to dash around so much. And the Fiesta Fathers were really struggling to figure out whether or not to focus the dragon down, because I do think it was a decent dragon call there, but just the
Yeah,
execution. Some of them were still on the dragon, some of them were trying to turn and focus down the Yasuo. It just got super chaotic, which is what Yasuo will thrive in.
yeah, exactly. And not to mention that Conqueror helped him stay alive longer than he should have in the fight. If
Yeah.
not for Conqueror, he would have died there and the fight could have gone a different way. But we remember that we saw Yasuo with a sliver of health at the end of that fight. You know,
Hmm.
he may have done a lot of work and he may have gotten a lot of kills and that fight went in their favor, but if he had died, it would have been the opposite story. And we would be talking about how Fiesta Fathers went on top at that fight and they could have had control of this game.
Yeah. It looked to be all Team Billy, and then the Fiesta Fathers got a decent push with that Rift Herald in mid lane. We're able to pick up a couple of turrets, but then so the so Team Billy had their lane assignments. Actually, they did really well in allocating lanes correctly. If you're also in Mordekaiser or Superhead, you want them in the side lanes, creating pressure there, while the rest of your team is in the middle. Fiesta Fathers did a good job of recognizing this and went for the gut punch right in the middle with that Rift Herald.
Uh-huh.
But then the side lanes did end up collapsing, and I think they stayed a little bit too long, and that kind of led into another one team fight.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you just get really hyped up that you're making that huge push. Hey, we just got two towers in a row. We're doing great, guys. And maybe a call did come to retreat, and maybe the excitement got the better of them. Yeah, you don't know. But I would also like to point something out about this game as well. If we just take a look at the vision scores for both teams, we can. But as I say that, they do ban Yasuo here during the ban phase of the game. So hey, I guess I was kind of right about that.
Yeah. Hopping into picking bans for game 2. So same 3 bans from Team Billy. Banned Pyke, Diana, and Jin last time. They'll do the same again here. Shen, Yasuo, and Mordekaiser are the bans. So Lee Sin is left open. Wasn't the first game, and Shaco was left open. I don't expect Shaco will be picked up here. Seems like more of a solo queue pick. That's going to be a Zillion lock-in for Fiesta Fathers. So they're prioritizing that for Nikki Might. They're saying, you can play as long as you don't have your Yasuo, Zillion will be fine. The Jinx is the answer here.
They're still confident in the Zillion pick. You know what? I gotta applaud that. Hey, you guys are sticking to your guns on this one. You're saying, hey, that game maybe that just wasn't our game. This game's gonna be totally different. So I respect that.
Yeah. So Team Billy's answer is the Jinx and the Viger. So Jinx, not much of a surprise. We saw them play that. Joe Killer took the Jinx last game. He's going to take it again. Viger, I fully expect that to be mid. I know that is one of the mid laners champions. Also, picking that into Zillion, you're not too worried if you're the Viger. Viger is an infinitely scaling champion, and Zillion doesn't put much pressure on you in the early game. So I think he's pretty happy to get that Viger matchup. Nautilus here is the support, though, on the other side.
I like that aggressive pick. I like that a lot. He's not going to be as tanky as Alistar is, but he helps to enable the team a lot more than Alistar does in team fights, I feel.
Yeah. Hovering the Pantheon here for ZZ Dog. I'm curious to see if they lock this in. And it is going to be a switch to the Olaf, yeah. So
big bully time. Here we go.
Yeah, so he I think the Olaf really could work here with early pressure. I'm kind of surprised they didn't take an ADC. Maybe they thought the Olaf would get banned off second round, but it is an Ornn lock-in for Team Billy. So with the Mordekaiser off the table, he's just going to go to his number 1 champion and grab that one.
Yeah, and Team Billy's going to ban Ezreal, and I don't really... I mean, sure, Fiesta Fathers, Frostbite, he knows how to play Ezreal. He loves Ezreal. It's one of his favorite champs. But Ezreal just, isn't really in the meta right now. He's, I don't necessarily think that was the best ban, but Jin was already banned, so you're already taking that off the table. Okay, so they are just focusing him down here with these last few bans. That's a good ban. When I mentioned I thought they would take ADC, I really wanted to see them lock in the Tristana with the Nautilus. I think they run that lane back again. The Tristana did a lot of work for the Fiesta Fathers that first game, so that's true.
Surprised they kind of pick up the Olaf first, but Tristana does get banned against them. Lee Sin is now taken off, so I'm still going to have to look for another jungler in his pool, which is pretty big, so I don't think he's too worried about that.
Yeah, I don't think he's that worried about it. I would love to see another champ that can scale late just like Jinx, where it's a match between the two of them. I would like to see something like a picked for Fiesta Fathers with this team comp.
Yeah, see how it goes. Ooh, this could be a Fiora into the horn. Yeah, so we talked about Cheese Blaze he's played a lot of Fiora this season, played a lot of Urgot last season. So those are his 2 big champions. Does Twitch. Go with the Fiora, and the Twitch is locked in.
That's a good pick too. I like that a lot as well.
Frostbite gonna run that with the Nautilus and see how they do into Jinx and whatever support that Team Billy pick here. We didn't really mention the Rek'Sai locked in, also one of Imstro's early game playmaking junglers. So I imagine he'll have no qualms about trying to get it early.
Off as well. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, that Brahm's going to help out a lot. I mean, you got Twitch, you got Olaf's Undertow, you got Nautilus's Hook. I mean, Braum is really going to stop a lot of that stuff as long as he times his shield correctly here in these team fights.
Yeah, I do like this pick, and not only that, it's actually pretty easy for Jinx to get a stun off of the Braum stacks with her attack speed in the minigun form.
Very true.
So...
Very true, very true. I think in laning phase, it's going to break about even between both of these bot lanes. I think jungle ganks are what's going to determine which bot lane is more successful here during laning phase.
Yeah. Wasn't a ton of jungle action super early on in bot lane. The focus was more up towards top lane. But once the bot lane started fighting on their own, the junglers, came in and tried to help out and gank a little bit. Don't know if we're going to see jungle pressure super early, but I think it is kind of up to these bot laners, because I remembered, I keep wanting to say Dream Daddies, Fiesta Fathers' bot lane stepped up big and took a couple of 2v2 kills, even without jungle help. So we'll see if they can do that again here with the Twitch Nautilus. But I do like Team Billy's Jinx Braum. I think that's a really good answer to this pick. I think they can stay
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I mean, we're looking at the two team comps here. We see out of Team Billy, I get what they're going for. Like the Braum ultimate disrupts people, and that might help Vagar set up his cage, and then Ornn gets an ultimate off as well during that. Like you're just holding Fiesta Fathers helpless during all three of those ultimates, basically.
Hmm.
So like they have a wombo there. It's not the same wombo they had last game with Yasuo, but it all works together. So
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it.
So Nicky might, on his Zillion, definitely a lot more happy with this matchup than with
For
the
sure.
Yasuo. And I know Glitch is actually pretty happy about this one as well. So both champions are probably content to throw their abilities, clear waves, farm up, get their items. But I do think no one's more happy than Nicky might right now that he doesn't have to face a Yasuo or an Irelia or something like that. He'll be able to go that standard Rod of Ages or Loons build, and actually output some damage in these fights and get some good chrono break shifts. I'm gonna look this up right now.
Yeah. Look up the name of that ultimate. We
Yeah.
can finally put it to rest and actually be consistent with it this game.
Yes. Yeah. So
I want to say Ezreal's is Chrono. Sorry, I want to say Echo's is Chrono Break. I want to say that's his, but I don't know.
yep, Echo is Chrono Break, and Zillion I'm assuming is Chrono Shift. But we'll just find out here. Yes, it is. Okay, so Echo is
All
Chrono
right,
Break, Zillion is Chrono Shift.
there it
And
is.
so no Echo this game, but do see the Zillion, so we'll get a lot of Chrono Shifts in this game. So top lane, Fiora and Ornn. So we had the
Spicy.
Urgot Mordekaiser lane last game. So we now have
Mhm.
Fiora into Ornn. Ornn is probably, I think it's kind of indubitably the most dominant of the tank picks right now. And Fiora is
Yes.
known for being decent into tanks. But do we think Fiora is going to beat Ornn? Like, I'm not sure about that. It seems like Ornn is just too strong for even the counters.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way whenever he's in a game against anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
he Orange just has such a surprising amount of damage that if you're not prepared for it, it's going to catch you completely off guard.
Yeah.
Mentally, like that can really affect a laning phase. But I would hope that Cheese Blaze is prepared for that. I hope he's not going to be phased by that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Illuminati is clearly confident on Ornn. He's clearly going to play just like he did with Mordekaiser. He's not going to be afraid of going in. It's still
Mhm.
going to be really fun to watch this top lane.
Yeah, like you said, I think Cheese Blaze does know this matchup a little bit. He did lock in the Fiora pretty quickly, as I
Yes.
remember. So, and it is a pro draft lock in, so it wasn't him locking in; it was his captain. So likely he was saying, he was very quick on the call out. Yeah, I want Fiora here for sure.
Yeah.
So hopefully he knows how to work around Ornn's inherent tankiness. I imagine Illuminati will be going Ninja Tabbies and with that Sunfire cape, probably completing even a Frozen Fist or Iceborne Gauntlet, technical name as well. So he's going to have a lot of armor in his kit. We'll see how Cheese Blaze can around that. So
Yeah, and I mean, Ansem will be very happy watching this game if Fiora builds those ninja tabbies. He
yeah,
always screams about it. So yeah, let's make Ansem. Let's build that
yes,
Fiora. What do you say?
yeah. Um, So it'll be interesting to see ZZ Dog on this Olaf versus the Rek'Sai. But he played really aggressively on the early game Echo, had some very timely counter ganks. Both these junglers were you could never really argue that they were in the wrong spots at the wrong times. Like they were always there to make the plays, but it just seemed like Team Billy was getting the better of the end in the 2v2s or the 3v3 spot or the 2v2s top or whatever. So I think both of these junglers are very suited to early game picks. So it'll be interesting to see which lane each of them target and if they can actually succeed in their efforts. Because I do think they're very good and control the tempo for each of these teams in the early game.
Yes, yes. The one thing, and I see chats talking about it a little bit, so I do want to talk about this. Zillion really didn't get to finish an game.
Hmm.
He just he was so oppressed by Yasuo during that laning phase that he just couldn't get anything rolling. So now that he's in a laning phase against Veigar, he's gonna be able to actually build a Rod of Ages or a Luden's Echo or a damage item early. You know, he's actually going to be able to get some early damage this game. So I'm going to be interested because that's going to completely change the dynamic in mid lane, let alone what Zillion's going to be able to do in all these team fights. So I think we're going to get a very different Zillion this game. I think we're going to get a very different Fiesta Fathers this game.
Yeah, and taking a look at chat, I think that's one of the subs for Team Billy's team. Aoka pointing out that Frostbite's running the Ignite on the Twitch while Nautilus is taking the heal. So,
Yeah.
do you have any idea if that's a normal thing or?
I mean, I guess it's just something that they're confident doing. You know, they wanna give Twitch the kills if Ignite's gonna be used. That they don't want the kills to go to Nautilus. They want Twitch to still get those kills, get that little extra gold that a kill gives you versus the assist. I get that. I understand that. Um, Although whenever I play AD carry, I want to know that I'm going to save my own life with heal when I need it. So, you know,
Yeah,
I don't want that to be mistimed. So hopefully we see really good communication out of these two where, you know, that's not going to be an issue between them.
yeah. So, loading up into the game here, we're taking a look at some of the runes here. Halo Blades on Rek'Sai, that is pretty standard as he can proc that really quickly on a knock-up play. ZZ Dog got the Conqueror on his Olaf. Cheese Blaze with the Conqueror on the Fiora. Another Dark Harvest for Zillion this game, but interesting to note that the Veigar is going to Glacial Augment build, so we will for sure see the Hextech GLP, possibly even the Spooky Ghosts after that.
Oh, I expect Spooky Ghosts.
Yeah, the two go hand in hand. Rom with the Guardian, and not the Aftershock. That's is that a normal thing? I guess he wouldn't proc his Aftershock, or he wouldn't proc his stun as often as somebody like Nautilus would. So kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense. And we know that Guardian works whenever he like a spell is cast on an ally, and I'm wondering if when Braum uses his jump to get onto Jinx or to get onto an ally champion, I wonder if that counts as one of those Guardian procs to get that going.
Yeah. Interesting. So level 1, I for sure do give it to Team Billy with the Braum. It is close. They have a Nautilus on the other side for Fiesta Fathers, and looks like Team Billy are lining up in the same area. I think.
Ooh.
They splitting off? Are they trying to stack here? They maybe have been Braum ward a bush and then join the other team, the rest of the team for the stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like what it is. But
Cool. Okay.
Fiesta Father's not biting on this one. They're gonna go ahead and go
Yeah.
ahead and plan here.
I don't always like the invade from this side of the map for either team. Like whether you're red side or blue side, I don't like doing invades like at this point of the river, like this. I don't like that a lot. I much prefer doing an invade over the bottom part of the map here by Tribush on the bot side and going around that tip. I feel like it's much easier to surprise your opponent if you're going in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We've definitely done our share of invades through there before. But yeah, so nothing happened here early on. Like last game, both teams are gonna fall back. Olaf starting his blue side, Rek'Sai starting her blue side. And looks like we're gonna get into the standard lane. So Frostbite did keep the ignite. We Justin did keep the heal. So curious to see if we'll see any fumbles or misplays as a result of that, or if everything will go hunky-dory.
Twitch taking invisibility right away. Not used to that being his level 1.
Justin does land the Herc on, and that's Ignite right down. The Frostbite is stunned up, so he's going to have to fall back. Both ADCs are really low. They're going to flash him with the Ignite. Can they follow up? No summoners are left available. Is going to be able to heal just in time. Now, Justin coming around the back. Is the stun going to land? First blood goes to Joe Killera. Can he kite him out for the double kill? He will. The trade goes to the Jinx Braum. And Team Billy, again, off to a 2-0 lead here in the early game.
Man, just ballsy play out of sorry, I'm blanking. Fiesta Fathers. ballsy
Yeah.
play. It just doesn't quite pay off. Twitch taking just a little bit too much damage, but Cheese Blaze goes
Ooh.
with a kill up in top lane here to make up for it.
Yeah, really taking it to this Ornn nice and early, and kind of crazy that he was just able to batter him down. Illuminati does TP straight back
Yeah.
to lane, so he's going to try and play safe while he collects the rest of these creeps, but kind
I
of
didn't
interesting.
even I didn't even consider that from the top lane matchup here. That yeah, Ornn doesn't really have any of his tools to get damage at level 1, and Fiora took full advantage of that.
So what's really interesting here, we saw this last game, where it was actually the Illuminati taking control on the top side of the map and winning his lane, where it was actually Frostbite and Justin on the bottom lane for Fiesta Fathers that were winning. But now the roles have swapped, and so the opposite bot lane and opposite top lane are winning. So that's kind of cool to see as Cheeseblaze steps back up with a solo kill, and Joe Killer and Death Adder win the 2v2. So kind of cool. We're seeing it roles reversed.
Yeah, we are a little bit, and I want to see a different Fiesta Fathers this game, so we already are seeing that. So let's see if that continues.
Yeah. So Jinx coming back to lane with that pickaxe. Frostbite wasn't able to buy anything but that refillable potion. Got that going for him. So they're going to try and push this wave in and deny the Jinx any opportunity to fight with the Braum. So
There we go. Ornn coming back a little bit in top lane. He's showing Fiora, hey, I can do damage now because I'm level 3.
yeah, yeah, I exist, and therefore, yeah, Ornn really is never out of a lane at all. Like he's always going to be able to be some form of presence
Yeah.
with a couple of pieced together items here and there. So,
And even if Fiora can keep him down the whole game.
Got a 3-man roam here as Frostbite moves up. Barrier procced, but the bomb will take him in the end. Meanwhile, top lane, I'm still not quite able to find the knock-up on the Cheese Blaze. But yeah, Frostbite timing his roam nicely with the ZZ Dog gank, and they'll get a kill into the Zillion early, which very delighted to see if you're Nicky Mite.
Yeah, very interesting early game roam there by the Twitch, but totally pays off, totally works.
Yes. I'm a little concerned that with the Jinx already ahead, if it'll be costing Frostbite in levels, XP, and farm if he goes up there too often. So it's really good to get those roams off once in a while, and that's why you see Jungle Twitch being much more successful roaming than ADC Twitch.
Yes.
So hopefully for his sake, he's able to stay in lane fairly often and get the farm and XP that he needed to.
Yep. And right now, Team Billy, they do have priority over Dragon right now if they want to go for it. But they don't know exactly where the Olaf is, and Olaf can get that Dragon all on his own. So
yeah,
they're kind of being smart and a little bit conservative here.
Oh, top lane. Cheeseblaze is actually in a pretty dangerous spot, but does heal up a decent bit, does land the parry, and he's able to take him down. Hits the Vital correctly at the last second, and I thought that was going the Ornn's way, but Conqueror procced and a good heal from the Fiora. 2-0 now in that lane.
Yeah, but I mean, it is kind of a good sign for the Ornn that even though he was behind already at this point, that he can still go toe-to-toe with Fiora. He's just got to time things a little bit differently to throw her off, and maybe it'll work and he'll get a kill up there.
Yeah, I think he needs to look to start doing some wave management there, because he knows now at this point he's going to have trouble fighting the Fiora. He's 0 for 2 on that front, and with his Jinx scaling, he's really going to have to put the brakes on things and try and maybe freeze the wave outside his turret so he can collect his farm without putting himself in danger. But we see a fight coming here. Stroh's been sitting in that bush for a while. Are they able to get the kill on the Nautilus? The Ignite does drop. Turret shot hits Death out on the opposite end, but Justin able to sneak out on the other side. So I'm Stroh. Great gank. Does burn the flash off of the Nautilus, but not quite able to pick up the kill. Is he going to go for round 2? Does tunnel through the same one again, and Frostbite, is he in trouble? But he drops the Ignite and picks up the kill on the other end. Death Adder almost about to go in. He has to be careful that he doesn't step into the tower, and Frostbite is able to eke that out and pick up a kill of his own. A little overeager from I'm Stroh there.
Maybe Jinx could have killed him with a zap, but her mana was pretty low. Maybe she just didn't have enough mana to throw it out there at that point.
Yeah, not exactly what you want from Team Billy to give Frostbite. He was struggling in this lane, kind of a little bit of breathing room with that kill there. So hopefully he's able to make an impact on the rest of the map in a more positive way. But
man, just spicy so far in this early game, just like it was last game. But
yes. Ooh, here come Olaf from the back. Glitch is going to drop that baby cage, drops the Baron, but a level 6 Olaf just dunks him. Going for that warrior build there, and just definitely has the damage to put that out. So 1-0 and 1, both mid laner and jungler for Fiesta Fathers are got some gold in their pocket and looking pretty good for them this game so far.
And that's exactly what Zilean needs. He needs some early damage, and that's going to help him get it. You know, he knows that he doesn't have to build the Zonia's Hourglass or something defensive right away this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Free to go for that probably a Luden's Echo, unless he is going for also could be Lost Chapter leading to a Hextech GLP. You see that on Zilean mid sometimes used to set up their double bombs.
That's true.
Fairly frequently. It's not a bad item at all. So we'll see which one he goes here.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be an Archangel staff, but then he should have just built tier first instead of that. So, you know, I doubt it. I doubt that's what he's going for.
Yeah.
So Jinx still has a nice lead down here in bot lane. She's 20 CS up on the Twitch, and she's got 2 kills, but you know, Twitch is not that far behind. He might be down in kills and the CS, but still easily something that they can turn around down there in bot lane, and Twitch can still get ahead. He can still be effective this game.
Yeah, I'd like to see Imstro move into the enemy jungle down here, bot and get some vision, so Joe Killer is free to push. They can start a dragon or something. Looks like he's going to come down in here for the gank, and Frostbite is positioned off on the side. I don't know if they're going to be able to spot him out.
No.
They've got him cornered in the alcove. Frostbite able to flash the Braum ultimate, but Imstro follows up with his own flash. Are they going to pick him up in the end? Yes, the kill goes to Joe Killer, but the Olaf is here on the other side.
Undertow.
The ultimate's coming straight through, misses the axe, and Imstro lives for a little bit, but this Olaf is running rampant. His ult does wear off, but it's a little too late there for Team Billy. And Hook just misses. Is he going to land that axe? Yes, he is. And I think this should be a kill here. Triple kill to the Olaf. In the top lane, the action does not stop as Ornn picks up the kill in return on the Fiora. And so
there you go, Ornn.
So suddenly things turn really well for Fiesta Fathers on the bottom side. Team Billy picks up the kill on the top side. So it's really counterplay at its finest with these two, the top and bottom lane.
And Olaf is a problem. I mean, not only does he have all these kills, which puts him ahead of his jungle opponent Rek'Sai here, but he also is ahead in CS against Rek'Sai.
Yeah,
Rek'Sai is so far behind him right now. It's so good for Fiesta Fathers to have a strong champion like Olaf in this good of a position.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for Twitch, but you know, it still works out for Fiesta Fathers, and they still have a nice 2,000 gold lead right now at the 10-minute mark of this game, plus the first dragon as well now.
Nice little juke there. Doesn't get caught out by the Braum Q there. Cheeky Imstro
that's nice. That's
nice. Grab. CC Dog's angry. He wants to go for him, but without access to the Ragnarok, not going to go in here. That ultimate is still down. He is stunned up. Can they get the shutdown here? 450 gold, but Zilean puts that Chrono Break on just in time. Ooh. The Super Mega Death Rock does miss.
It's his ultimate while he's reviving.
Oh, Vigar from downtown. Glitch picks up the kill on him, collects the big shutdown ban, and we've got a full-on fight breaking out here. 2 kills have gone over to the Twitch now. Maybe it'd be a third here as he picks up Glitch. And,
nice.
The hook lands onto Jinx. Can he get a 4th one here? That may be the bomb picking him up, but no, the heal comes out and he just does survive. But Fiesta Fathers respond with 3 kills despite having their 4-0 Olaf shut down.
That is really good stuff by Fiesta Fathers there. I thought for sure the Olaf getting caught out, you know, that's all that's gonna happen. Olaf's gonna die. We're gonna get a reset after that. But no, Fiesta Fathers takes revenge for Olaf's death.
Oh, Imstro is in big trouble here. Gets the grand challenge dropped on him, but is going to be able to tunnel away. Cheese Blaze might be sticking around here too long. Can run to his Zilean there. Oh, he dashes in, trying to proc that Vital on Imstro. May have bitten off more than he could chew, and he is going to go down in the end. Yeah, Zilean just not close enough, and a little bit greedy there from Cheese Blaze, and he will pay the price. Fight's not over, though. Illuminati lands the ultimate onto ZC Dog, and he's going to fall for a second time. Does not quite pick up the Ornn in the process. Nikki might try to land some bombs in the back line. Illuminati trying to run away. Does get that flash out, and I don't think the burn damage from Twitch will be enough. So Herald does go over to Fiesta Fathers, but Team Billy picks up 2 kills.
Yeah, it was really interesting how they kept focusing on Shelly while Zillion and Fiora were fighting them in the jungle there. It almost feels like obviously that was the call that everybody went with because, they were both committed to those two separate things and they just thought that they could handle it. But if Olaf had stopped going for Shelly and had helped out in the jungle, I almost feel like that would have been a completely different fight.
Yeah. I think it would have been, but more likely than that, the call was for the Olaf and the Fiora to kind of keep them occupied. As we see Twitch
Yeah.
here picking up the kill on the Fiora. Armstrong goes in with that Rek'Sai ultimate, but the Zillion ultimate
Ooh.
clutch there to save Twitch, and he'll walk out. He was behind early, but now he's 5-2-3. ZZ Dog coming here down in the bot lane, does not have access to the Ragnarok. We just had popping that depth charge. It's going to knock him up, so maybe they do still want this fight. Joe Killer trying to help out from the back lane, but rockets are going to be in vain as his support falls. Another kill over here to the Fiesta Fathers.
And even though Team Billy has been putting in some good decision making here, and they've been getting some kills and turning a few things around for themselves, the goal lead has gone from 2,000 to 3,000 in favor of Fiesta Fathers now. And Jinx, never mind, she's not going to get a kill there. Almost does that.
They were going to go for a dive there for a second, but they
held back.
The chompers, the flame chompers landing there under turret, and we Justin had to bail right out of that one real quick. Rek'Sai here, though, they might get the kill on the Nautilus here. Does land the knock-up, and that's going to be pretty quickly demolished as Rek'Sai does pick up the kill. Probably wish they could have gotten on the Jinx, but here's Frostbite moving up to the top lane, trying to get some of these turret plates, and not sure. They're able to get one, and they might stay for the full turret. Ornn
I would
does
be
have
careful
access.
here if I was Twitch, because Olaf could kill him here.
Ornn has access to the
Ornn,
ultimate
I mean.
there. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Does have access to that ultimate. Yeah, right. I had my chrono shift and chrono break moments earlier. You're allowed an Ornn Olaf, an Ornn Olaf switch up. So taking stock of things right here. Looks like the bottom lane from Team Billy is swapped up here to kind of match the Twitch. But Twitch has done a little bait and switch and has gone back to the lane. But Cheeseblades does have to flash here. Here comes the ultimate. Flash, zap, misses, but the knockup will come down from the ultimate from Ornn, and Joe Killer lands the super mega death rocket. That'll be a kill onto the Fiora. So unfortunately, the plates on the turrets have just expired about a minute ago, but they might be able to knock this turret down with Jinx damage abilities.
Yeah, it's enough DPS out of Jinx. They might be able to get it here. Actually, on this next minion wave, yeah, they will definitely get this tower.
What they are giving it up for it, though, is position around this dragon, and the Fiesta Fathers have secured one as Nikki Might eats a full Vigor combo, does land the stun there, and Glitch is actually just going to go down there, so nice little double bomb and run from Nikki Might as he's able to get that CC and team follows up. So
yeah,
while
I mean they respond here, get an Infernal Drake. Really good for them, especially on
he's trying to steal. He does get the steal as the Fiesta Fathers unable to hold their damage on the dragon, and I'm sure able to secure that dragon. So very good for them. They were able to get that top turret. They would have given up the dragon in a trade, but they're just going to go down there and grab that dragon too.
I was going to say that Infernal Drake would be huge on the Twitch and the Zillion, but no, they don't even get it.
Yeah. So very nice steal. Imstro keeps his team in the game objective-wise. Now they have to weather the pressure here. And Nikki might stepped a little bit too far. Uses that chrono shift, and Flame Chompers don't quite land on the other side, so I think he's going to be able to make it out here.
Yeah,
the Brawn Q just does miss.
So the next dragon is an Ocean Dragon, which means that's what we have until the end of the game here. And that's good for either team to stack that, So if we happen to see 3 Ocean Drakes on either side, can help extend any of these fights.
We got a fight going on here. ZZ Dog turns around, but nice kiting by Joe Killer. He played that fight masterfully, is able to kite in the 3v2. I gotta tell you, I felt a little nervous for him when Cheese Blaze and ZZ Dog turned around with the Olaf and Fiora upfront damage, but Joe Killer handling that fight very well, picks up 2 kills for himself, and feeling good about this mid game. This is a close one.
It's a really close game now. Yeah, it was a 3,000 gold lead a few minutes ago. It's a 2,000 gold lead, 5, 6, 7 minutes ago, and it's still just a 2,000 gold lead right now. It's such a close game, and both bot lane late game insurance policies here, the Twitch and the Jinx, they're dead even in what they
Yeah.
have going on right now.
Yeah. Which is crazy to me. I for sure did doubt the ability of the Twitch to roam and still stay kept up in items and gold, but he was able to make plays all across the map, taking turrets, picking up that triple kill, almost a quadra kill in the mid lane,
Yeah,
in that fight earlier, and has himself almost 2 items to match the Jinx. So 80
that's
carries are the
pretty
story of this
crazy.
game.
It's pretty crazy. And then obviously Veigar is infinite scaling in the late game here, but if Zilean can figure out who he wants to ult and kill right away in one shot, then Veigar's late game scaling almost doesn't matter at that point.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with the one-shot part of that comment, because look what his second item is with that needlessly large rod, probably going for the oh, that's a dead Fiora.
Gets
That's
tower for it.
unfortunate.
So,
Yeah,
eh,
I think he did all in for that. He was
yeah,
willing to sacrifice that. He was a 2 and 4 Fiora, no bounty there. So
yeah. He knew
um,
what he signed up for.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I was saying about the Zillion though. I do think this is a second item death cap for him though. So not content being the utility for his team, he wants to be the big AP damage carry. So we'll see how it works out. It's a bold move. Speaking of which, he gets caught up. He is going to drop the ult onto himself in time. Lands a double bomb on the backside.
Oh!
This could be really good. The Orn Horn comes through. This is a close fight overall, but it is going to Fiesta Fathers. They've taken 2 kills here. The Olaf is running wild. He's going to chase down this Orn. 1 kill is traded back by the Rek'Sai. And are they going to get him in the end? The kill does go over to Frostbite. And I am Stro barely squeaking out with his life, but the Fiora is closing in on him from the top side, and they're going to hunt this 4th kill down. Big fight from the Fiesta Fathers.
It is so hard to peel Olaf off of Jinx. As soon as he got on her, it was almost a guaranteed death for that Jinx. And there's nothing that you can really do to stop him other than kill him. And they just didn't have the damage to do it at that point.
Yeah.
Of course, Zilean stunning everybody on their team doesn't help that either.
Yeah, Nicky might played that really well. Dropped the ultimate for himself, and just as he was about to go into the stasis, landed a double bomb. And despite going down in that fight, was a big help for his team there. As Frostbite opens up a well-timed Unbreakable from the Braum, and they're actually going to chase onto this Twitch here. The Super Mega Death Rock does get blocked by Nautilus' huge bod, but he might pay the price in the end as the Zap catches him after the Veigar ult, takes him down to a couple HP. So Billy is going to trade back here.
Yeah, it's a really good shield by Braum. Blocked all of Twitch's damage, and what could have been a really good engage on the side of Fiesta Fathers ends up being completely nullified.
Yeah, so pushing in onto this mid lane turret, looks like they are going to collect it. Zilean does TP from the bottom to that second tier inner mid turret. So is able to move in and pick up that wave. Not sure it warranted a TP, but with Dragon coming up, you want to have all hands on deck here. Ooh, here goes Easy Dog. He's ulted. He's sped up. He's going to chew up this Veigar. Does the Jinx kite him out? Yes, she does. So Joe Killer are able to squeak that out. But now it goes down to Frostbite. Is he able to get damage off before he goes into the Chrono Shift? They're trying to wait it out.
Yeah, they
aren't
tried.
able to do so. But the Flame Choppers do land. Can he get both these kills? It's so close in the end. Joe Killera is the winner of the Hunger Games. The Jinx will back off. It is now 2v2 as Cheese Blaze and Illuminati are fighting here on the top side. Can he dodge the Orn Horn? He does not. Claps him in the face, but yep. Cheese Blaze getting the heal from the Grand Challenge is able to survive that. So absolutely bloody game overall. But
cross map action.
Yeah. I think in the end, boy, I was going to call a winner to that, but after Fiesta Fathers' Fiora kill in the top lane, maybe not. So
okay, all right, good flash by Fiora. That's a good decision. Yeah, just get out of there.
Yeah.
It's so interesting though, because as evenly matched as this game feels, Fiesta Fathers still has that gold lead, and now it's 4,000 instead of 2,000. And I mean, this game really does feel like it's neck and neck. It feels like it's anybody's game still, even with that 4,000 gold lead on their side.
Yeah. So thing to note here is the Dragon is the next thing on the board, of course, as we do see a fight start to break out. Not sure if the teams are going to commit here. Interestingly enough, the Veigar is in the top lane without a teleport. Cheese Blaze is up there to match without a teleport. So we've got Ornn versus Olaf here in the mid lane. Ooh, Imstro caught out there, is able to tunnel through, takes about half of his health bar from Frostbite, who's opened up with the spray and pray. Hook does land for the Nautilus. They might just finish off this Ornn here. Screw the Dragon. They're going to go for kills here. Joe Killer able to land up some good damage as Cheese Blaze challenges the Vigar, who does have access to that ult, and just dunks him where he stands. Yeah,
he very smartly waited out the parry or riposte or whatever it's called that Fiora has. Very smartly waits that out so that he knows that ultimate's going to land and finish her off.
Oh, Nikki might in trouble, not able to get that chrono shift down, and is going to pay the price here as his team was starting up. As the Fiesta Fathers are starting up drag, they have to back off of it now. It is a 3v3 right here. Twitch does not have access to his ult, but could open up in a big way. I think this fight goes to the Jinx if they're able to kill the Twitch right away. So it is a 1-for-2 overall, but they're getting slowed down, and now the Olaf has been let loose on the Jinx, and Frostbite does perish in the end, but look at that kiting! He's almost able to get out of there. TP
I got scared.
The action never stops. Now it's going to be ZZ Dog in trouble. May pick up a kill before he goes down and does dunk the Braum.
Yeah, but, I was almost gonna say, you're not peeling for Jinx, you're not staying back there to help her out, you're chasing the Twitch away, but it doesn't matter. They still come out on top in that fight. I'm blanking down the team. 3 of Team Billy's members die in that fight to 4 of Fiesta Fathers. So they did come out on top of that, even though I thought it was a pretty big error there in the communication to let Jinx die the way that they did.
Yeah, that Olaf is when posted up on that backline is no matter whether it seems like he's been outscaled or not, he's always going to be a huge threat, especially with the build he's going. Like, look at that Black Cleaver and the Death Dance in there. He's going to melt some squishies real quick.
Ooh, Jinx steals the red buff.
Yeah, Fiora's mad. She wants this. We've got the grand challenges being issued, but Joe Killer has brought some friends to this challenge. Fiora screams not fair as she dies, and Joe Killer gets the red buff and the kill.
Man, I am liking what I'm seeing out of both teams here. We see Fiesta Fathers being a completely different team than they were last game, and they are controlling this game a little bit more than Team Billy is, but Team Billy is still showing a lot of grit and determination, and they are not giving up anything here.
Yeah. If you're going to give one team the ability or the mental to come back and come out swinging in a game that after they had just lost, it is going to be the Fiesta Fathers. They do know how to fight and turn things around in their favor. So good on them to do so here in this game, and they have certainly come out swinging.
I mean, regardless of how the second game goes, no matter who wins here, I would love to see a rematch of these two teams in the playoffs at the end of the season, because this is so much fun to watch.
Yeah. I'm not sure how Shuriman is going to shake out, because I think there's the first. I know this is the first game we've got on stream. I don't know if this is the first game that's actually happened yet in this league. One team does have a bye since there's only 5 teams here in this league, so
yes,
we could see these teams being number 1 and 2 in the division for all we know. So it'll be interesting.
Very, very interesting to see how this all pans out. And we have a no, never mind. We don't have a little break. There's a little skirmish here in bot lane, but Fiora's just going to disengage, it looks like.
Yeah. So interesting that Fiora went with the lethality there. You see that item, the Sanguine Blade inventory. Kind of curious to see that on the Fiora. Ooh, she's being circled in on. Here's I Am Stro. Oh, tries to bait out the riposte, but he is going to go golden there, and Fiora is taken down. Oh, this is going to go the way of Team Billy.
Oh my God!
The horn is sounded. The Twitch is dead. The Nautilus is resurrected. I'm Stro going deep. There's the Super Mega Death Rocket picks up that kill. We just going to go down to the Vigar ultimate, and that is a 4-for-1 overall.
But meanwhile, look up in mid lane. Olaf is taking their inhibitor tower.
Yeah, they're going to have to recall here if they want to lose that. Oh, this is smart of them. Send 2 members back to deal with the Olaf while they send the Jinx pushing here. They are going to get this tower. Not sure how much more. The death timers are down to about 10 seconds for Cheese Blaze and Frostbite, so they might grab this turret, but I really doubt they're going to get the inhib. Crucial that they do chase the Olaf off of their inhib.
Yeah, but now Fiesta Fathers, they can't stop this inhibitor from dying unless Twitch really gets running. Oh no, they're gonna play it safe. They're gonna be conservative and run. Okay, all right. Yeah. I thought Vega was just gonna put down the baby cage and just keep them away from the inhibitor so they could finish it off. But yeah, no, they decided to play it safe.
Frostbite's still chasing. Not sure if he wants this. Was actually very smart of Team Billy to disengage. Look at the Vigar and the Jinx. Their bounties combined to be 650. So if they had overstayed and grabbed that inhibitor, they would have given quite a handful of gold to the other team. Um,
Oh, still
so
such a close game. But I mean, like we were saying, how the game felt so close earlier, even with the 4,000 gold lead for Fiesta Fathers, and now it's only a 1,000 gold lead. Not even not even a 1,000 gold lead.
Oh, Vigar does get hooked with the Zillion Bomb on him. He is going to go down.
There we go.
That's a really big pick at the beginning of the fight here for Fiesta Fathers. That's going to go over to the Twitch. They're chasing in through. Team Billy is, despite losing their Vigar mid, has had enough of this, and they're going to chase down the Nautilus. It is a 1-for-1 overall, but Cheeseblaze is here in the thick of things. Watch out for this Jinx. He is going to get the kill on the Fiora and still survives. Meanwhile, Frostbite goes down. This is turned for Team Billy's favor. Jokiller with the bomb on him. Can he survive the Zillion?
Oh, okay.
It's not. The bomb gets him in the end. Here is ZZ Dog, though. He's the final carry remaining for the Fiesta Fathers. Can he pick up the kill under the Ornn? The flash and cannot as Iamstro picks them out of the blue. That is a 3 for 5. And the Ocean Dragon as the reward to Iamstro and Illuminati for winning that fight.
Oh, that was crazy. I mean, look at this. Both teams have 5 towers, and one of which is an inhibitor tower on both sides. Both teams are within 1,000 gold of each other. It's 32 kills to 31 kills. Both teams have 2 dragons. They're identical teams.
Yeah.
Man, and even in lane assignments as well, or not lane assignments, but even in how well each lane is doing, it's identical teams here. Both teams are relying on their bot lane AD carries here to really affect these team fights. And sure, Olaf is carrying some of that load for Fiesta Fathers, but the later the game goes on, the less impactful he's going to be and the more impactful Twitch is going to be. So it's both teams are playing the same way and both teams are trying to play the same game with each other. The problem for Fiesta Fathers is that at this point, Team Billy just has a better engage. They have Braum, they have Veigar, they have Ornn's ultimate. You know, they have so many ways of engaging on them and starting team fights. And we saw that earlier when they completely wiped out Fiesta Fathers in bot lane.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we have the next fight coming up. They're going to get the damage onto Zillion. He's going to chrono shift and save himself there, but he's still in a really bad spot. Locked up by the Flame Chompers, and that's the opening kill for Team Billy here. They're going to turn it to the Baron now, as Illuminati is taking it to Cheeseblaze here. Not sure if he's going to be able to heal enough. The Conqueror's procking, trying to get that final vital. Can he hug the wall? Is able to clap him in the ears, and it is all Team Billy here. That's going golden is the Olaf, but he's going to be perishing in the end. Frostbite now in trouble as the Rek'Sai lands the ultimate onto him, does go down, and that's the Nautilus perishing as well. That is a 5 for 0, and Team Billy now have their choice if they want to do the Baron or push for the base. Looks like it's going to be the Baron.
Yep, and honestly, Fiora is that split push champion. It just doesn't make sense to have her with the team, especially when she has an item like Sanguine Blade built, which is made for 1v1 engagements. And so you put her on her own in a side lane. She's split pushing all by herself, and Ornn being a perfect match for her right now with where he is in this game, and he's positioning himself so well where even when Fiora puts her ultimate down on him, if he just goes right next to a wall, she's not going to be able to get that final proc of her ultimate off, and she's not going to get those heals from it. Very smart positioning by Ornn in that last engagement they both had.
All right, so Team Billy now pushing down with the Baron buff ready. They have an open inhibitor in bottom lane if they want to go to that, but I think they might just go straight for mid lane to get those inner turrets and the standing gold on the map. So we'll see if they try and start off another fight right away or they try to set up vision around it. Knowing these two teams, we could see a fight right away.
I'm just expecting Team Billy to just dive this. I'm expecting a dive almost right away.
Yeah, here goes Iamstro. You're exactly right. They're going to go into Nicky Might right away. Does have to pop the corner shift. Gets it off barely just in time, but the Nautilus is now going to suffer as a result. Nicky Might in a bad position. He's going to go down in the end. Frostbite has already perished. That's going to be the Olaf. He's going to go down in the end. Super Mega Death Rocket, not even needed, as Team Billy go a 4 for 0. Only
if Fiora
Cheeseblaze
can't defend this, it's over. Fiora can't really defend this on her own. She can't take on all 5.
Will we see the 1v5 pentakill? It's looking pretty good so far. Oh, bummer. So close in the end.
So much damage. Oh, man. It almost makes you want to cry seeing that much damage come out of one ability, but that's what happens with Veigar. He just gets to that point. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Tough
just
game.
explosive. I mean, that game was one of the most entertaining games I've ever watched in our league in all of the seasons we've had so far. That was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Yeah, and man, I keep saying Dream Daddies. It was yeah. And Fiesta Fathers put up a monster fight in the second game. They opened up with a really strong early game to the point where I was like, well, how are Team Billy going to work their way back into this game? But
They
they
found a
started the
way.
team fighting. Yeah, the Orange started to outscale the Fiora, which I didn't think was possible, but it happened. Um, and they ran it all the way. The Jinx, looking at that Jinx kiting in those fights was absolutely insane.
Yeah, just oh man, I just can't believe how wildly that swung there. I mean, Fiesta Fathers went from a 4,000 gold lead to having I didn't even see the gold lead at the end of the game. I was so excited just watching all the fighting, but for Team Billy to completely swing that around, I mean, well done on them. That was so good. And I mean, Fiesta Fathers, you had that game. You were doing everything right. It's not that you were making any big major mistakes. You were doing everything that you were supposed to do. And Team Billy just found one moment, one team fight where they were able to take things in their favor, and that's what won them that game. So
Yeah,
no, neither team should really be hanging their heads here for any part of that match. That was such a good match by both sides.
yeah. Looking at the damage in the end, it was all Jinx.
All
Once the
Jinx.
the blows were traded and the team fights were fought and the battles were won, and she was the really big carry. So Joe Killer, while he was kind of outshone by his fellow partners, mid and top laner in game one, really stepped up in game two and showed that he could be the real big carry. And that's the thing you love to see from teams at this level is when all three of their roles can carry games. Um, and that's the mark of a good, a well-rounded team. When you have teams that can only play through one role or maybe one or two laners under certain circumstances, it can be kind of tough because you can get counterplayed, and your weaknesses can be more easily exposed. But when you can carry from all three roles, we saw Illuminati on his Mordekaiser, on his Ornn, turned in two very solid performances. With mid lane, the Vigar and Yasuo, jungle was everywhere for the counter ganks. Support was blocking everything on Braum, some really well timed unbreakables. And they were able to carry from every role. And so kudos to Team Billy as they
Yeah.
showed strengths in every single position this game.
Yeah, just some really excellent stuff here. And I just want to point out a few things on the build paths here that we see on both teams. Just a few things to talk about here because Fiora did have that Sanguine Blade, and while that does help her split push because it puts her in a 1v1 situation, it means that if you ever want to make a call where she is going to be in a 5v5 team fight, she has no other items in her build here at the end of the game that helps her do much at all in a 5v5 team fight.
Yeah.
Um, so at that point, when she has a Sanguine Blade, you have to completely commit to that 1v1. You have to completely commit to that split push. And if that split push doesn't work out, your game plan is going to suffer because of that.
Yeah.
I certainly think it's a risk worth taking because Fiora is a great split pusher. It just didn't happen to work out here because the Illuminati played Orange so well against it every single time that he went to face her in that split push.
Hmm.
Um, and then we see other things. Jinx, for instance, she was so strong that she had a completely full build at that point in the game. I mean, the game was 32 minutes and Jinx was full build, and that's just going to be hard to deal with no matter what. But if we look at Twitch, I mean, Twitch was doing everything right as well. He was one item away from being full build, and that last whisper was really helping him take out Illuminati and Braum and help do damage there. So like there were good ideas here on both sides for what they're building. I mean, Vhagar doing a lot of work here with his glacial augment, and he builds the Hextech GLP, and he built the Twin Shadows as well, and he wasn't lacking damage.
Hmm.
So I mean, good ideas for both sides here. Good things in their build paths, and just again, well done to both of these teams. I really liked what I saw today in this matchup. Really impressed by both of you.
Yeah. We see the glacial augment mid laners actually coming out pretty frequently. Vigar's a really good user. Nico, the original or one of the original users.
Yes.
Cho'Gath actually pretty good, even in solo queue. Hyper carries pair up really well with the the glacial augment mids, because like you said, they never really do lack on damage. Like some people think of Glacial Augment as a utility build where you just kind of sacrifice all your damage to do so. I can tell you firsthand that is definitely not the case. You're still Viger's still pumping out damage. Those Nikos are still getting huge ultis. Cho'Gath can feast somebody at 2 trillion HP and kill him instantly. And just the utility to add on to set up for a hyper carry to get him some more space and do more work. Those two things pair really well, and so I think we're going to see a little bit more of that in this league until Glacial builds get some kind of nerf or something. So
Yeah, or they fall out of favor to some other meta because it was Conqueror a month ago lane, and now it's not so much that anymore. So 2 weeks from now, it might be a completely different story for all we know.
yeah. Well, hoping we can get an interviewee to join us here from Team Billy. Whenever you guys are ready, if you want to hop in, post it in their streamer chat. I want to talk to them about. I have a couple questions for some of those games. So, I want to get some thoughts on at least some specific plays. And just as I say that, we are joined by Joe Killera. Did I say that right?
Yes. You are one of the few people that actually pronounce my name correctly.
Well, how does anybody else say it? It seems fairly straightforward to me.
I've had people pronounce it as Joe Killer A, Joe
okay.
Killer, and then full pause, and then just and I'm like, come on, man, it's Killera.
Yeah, no, I agree. It seems pretty straightforward, but all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just about to heap praise on you, but just go ahead and stop me and interrupt me, and you talk about your own thing.
No, go ahead. You're the interview. I'm the interviewee.
Correct. Now that we've got that out of the way, let me proceed here. Well, congratulations to you guys on the 2-0. Just curious, do you know if any of the other Shuriman teams have played yet, or were you guys the first teams in your league to play?
I believe we are the first teams to play.
Awesome.
I mean,
Well,
we
cool.
do have 6 or 7 games all happening at the same time tomorrow, so
Yeah, we're gonna get everybody out of the way. Congratulations to you guys on the 2-0. That was a really hard fought one. I wanted to open it up with a very specific question in game 1. You guys locked the Yasuo Gragas, and we saw that playing a huge factor. You were on Jinx. Your bot lane wasn't doing incredibly well. I think that Tristana had gotten a bit of an early lead. You guys had traded some blows back. I noticed your jungler made some nice counter ganks. But where Scatter and I saw the game really turn in game 1 was when Stro and your mid laner made a play in the dragon. I think they went in 2v4 as Yasuo Gragas and got a bunch of kills and stopped the dragon. What was the communication like on that one? Did you guys plan to go in with such few numbers and were confident in taking that fight?
Well, so Stro on our team, he's diamond and he's the most mechanically skilled out of all of us here. So, us playing together so often these past couple of weeks, we've started to realize our strengths and our weaknesses and just the champions that we can play. We also have a really good idea of how Stro and Nate will play. Nate's our mid laner.
Gotcha.
So the communication side was we've gotten to a point where somebody will make a call and we just commit. You saw that game. You saw that when we went on the Zillion in game 2. That was my call because I'm an ape.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to be fair, you did make that call 5 times because that's how all 7 of the last team fights started with you guys going on the Zillion, and it worked out every single time. So
that was just the one. That was the one that got away. But overall, if we see something that looks good, we have a 2-second window to just scream no as loud as we can. And if nobody says no, we just full commit.
Nice. Yeah, what is that saying? It's better to have 2 people, or it's better to have 5 people committed to a bad call than 2 people committed to a good call.
Yes.
Something like that. So
that's
exactly.
it.
Yeah, found that to be to be very effective, especially. That's a pretty good system with shot calling, in that there's a small window to downvote the call. Otherwise, everybody's all in for that. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. You could tell it worked in your game.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, it was just really fun watching engagements. I mean, from both teams that game. I mean, it was such an entertaining game the whole time. I was laughing and I mean, just Fiesta Fathers lived up to their name. This match was a fiesta, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I just want to ask about your mentality after that first game going into the second game, because we've seen it happen both ways where a team wins the first game, so they're riding high going into the second game, but that leads to them underestimating their opponents and they lose the second game. Or we see where a team wins that first game and then they keep it rolling, and the second game is even more of a win than the first game was. But here, that second game, even though you won that, it was a very close game for a very long time. So, what was your mentality after that first game, and what did you guys discuss for picks and bans and team comps leading into that second game here?
So for Team Billy as a team, we've gone 1-1 in Clash in like every scrim that we played. So this game was the game that broke the 1-1 curse.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So usually we will ride off the high of the first game win and just try to sail from there.
Mhm.
Stro, I, and Adder try to get everybody
All right,
refocused as
guys.
best as they can. Because we'll be joking around, and I don't know if you guys saw on stream, but we were memeing in the chat during the first game, going into the first game during the pregame lobby. But we usually keep it very very calm and chill until we get in game, and then we switch and we get very focused. Um, other
Yeah.
other than that, we look at pick bans probably an hour or two before every match, and we just say what works, what can we allow through the first part of the draft, and what's going to shut us down, and we just ban out whatever's going to shut us down, and we go from there.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. And I noticed that for that second game, you really focused Frostbite on Fiesta Fathers there. You banned three of his champions there for that second game: the Jin, the Ezreal, and the Tristana. So what was he the guy on Fiesta Fathers that you were concerned about that second game? Was he the guy that you wanted to focus on? Laning phase, get some gank spot lane, make sure that he's not able to do anything, or out of having a top laner and a bot laner left, were you guys just really confident that the Illuminati was going to be able to handle Cheese Blaze? So that's why you focused the 80 carry bands. Like why was that the game plan here for those three bands in the latter half of the ban phase?
The pick ban phase pretty much came down to how they drafted. We went off of what they were going to draft first during the first part of the draft, and just went from there. If we decided on, if they don't pick either Ezreal first or Tristana first, we're just gonna see what happens. And then if they don't pick a bot laner, we're just gonna ban him out.
Okay.
It wasn't anything against him or anything like that. It was just how the draft went.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys picked your top laner already.
Mhm.
So
And
I was just really expecting you guys to just pick, sorry, not pick, but I was expecting you guys to just ban counter picks to Ornn in the second half of the banning phase, and you just elected not to go with that. So that just really surprised me there.
yeah, so our top laner Charlie is really good at Ornn. He's been spamming games and scrims and just practice that we're at a point where he's confident enough that he can pretty much play any matchup into Ornn. And we were all confident in it. Stro and I, when we were loading in or banning, we were like, okay, we can just have Charlie be on Ornn and he can play into the Fiora, because during our draft we were like, Fiora really can't do much into our team comp. She has her W and she can maybe get 1 or 2 CC abilities out of us, and then we just turn on her and she dies because we just have so much lockdown.
Final question for you, or final couple of questions. You have a lot of fans in the Twitch audience. Can you tell me, in front of all of them, who is the biggest carry on your team?
Is that even a question? It was obviously
Who is the
Stro.
biggest? Obviously, Stro.
Is
Okay.
that even a
All right.
no? I'm joking. I'm joking. It was a 3-way tie between me, Stro, and our mid lane.
Three-way tie, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Very
honestly,
cop out answer.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Now answer this question for me. Promise this will be the last one. Who's the biggest feeder on your team?
That's hard. That's hard.
Think
I'm
about-
gonna I'm gonna make some people really, really, really upset. Okay.
That's what we're going for here. That's what
Okay.
we're going
Okay.
for. This is a team building exercise. We're testing
Okay.
their mentalities.
It's
Who's
two,
the biggest feeder?
it's a 2-way tie. It's a 2-way tie. It's either Aoka, our sub right now, and our top laner. Because sometimes he just ints.
All
Right?
right.
He just hard ints.
So biggest feeder and biggest inter confirmed to be the Illuminati 17. Thank you for the interview, Joe Killer.
Thank you for your
Been a
time.
pleasure. Yeah. Congratulations to Team Billy on the win, and to Joe Killer, who was able to hard carry that last game on a Jinx performance. They go 2-0 in our first Shuriman showdown here. Thank you guys all for watching on the Twitch. That'll about wrap it up for us. Foozle Bamboozle, Scattercat on the color casting, and thank you to Scrambles on the streaming for helping get this game onto Twitch. So until tomorrow, we will catch you guys later. Say bye to the